Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. Good morning to you all, and I welcome you to the tutorial for today. So basically, these are a few things we did yesterday, and today we're just going to talk about logical operators, loops, looping through arrays, functions and returning functions, and object models. Okay, so this is all we've got in store for today, right? So I want to create a new file inside this directory. Okay, so I just click on this and click on this so I can be able to create a new file. So I'm gonna just call this one just anything I want to call it. I can just say index.js. Since we have already written so much content in this, I don't want to continue writing much files inside. So I just want to create a new separate file so I can write new content in it. Okay. And I told you if you want to link your JS file in your HTML, you basically would want to do this simple thing. That is to say, you use the script command to import the external file like that. Okay, so you specify the directory and you specify the name of the file itself, right? So that is that. So without further ado, let's just jump in and start creating the first topic today, which is logical operators. Okay, so logical operators itself, they can be combined using some commands like some symbols you already know. Okay, so we have this ampersand sign, and we have this or sign, and we also have an exclamation mark. Okay, so we're gonna use all these guys to create some content, because these are some of the logical operators you should familiarize yourself with, or kind of familiarize yourself with. Okay, yeah. So with that being said, let's just say, let's use the let command to create a function or a variable called, like, let's just say it's sunny. Okay, like a sunny day, right? And we're going to use the boolean to say maybe if it's true or not, right? So we're going to also do a warm, that is a warm day, and also we set it to a temperature. Okay, and we should say if the temperature is greater than 20, we say it's a warm day. Okay, so then we want to use the if that we talked about yesterday. We want to use the if to check. Okay, so basically, you already know what the if is. Okay, it's a conditional statement, right? Okay, we have the if, else, if, and the else, right? So we want to check to see if it's a sunny day, right? And it's warm. Okay, so this is what we're doing now. We're checking if it's sunny and if it's warm, then we should do a thing. That is to say, let's console log some content to the screen. Okay. So we want to say, okay, this is a perfect day for outdoor activities. Okay. So for us to type that or display it on the screen, can just use the string variable, the string data type to output it. That's to say, put in your content within two double quotes. Okay, we're just gonna say perfect day for outdoor activities. Okay, that's all we're gonna say. It's just just a temporary, or let me just a random words one just say and not put to the screen. Okay, so that is all we want to do there. Okay, so we also want to check. Okay, and if it is not so, that is if it is maybe lesser than that, okay, we'll say maybe another day. So just console log, yeah, the same string pattern, and say maybe another day. That's all. Okay, so that is what you use these the logical operators to do, right? You We've used this and, which I initially showed you at the top, right? So I told you about the and symbol, the or, and the exclamation mark, right? So these are what we gonna be making of, and we have just one now, right? So with that being said, we'll just quickly move to the next topic, which is the loops. Okay, And basically, the loops is just what we use to iterate over some maybe content arguments or maybe some part of our codes. Okay, so we're going to use the for loop this time around because we have the for loop and we have the while loop. Okay, so we're going to test the two of them right now. All right, so I would like to comment these guys out so that it will not affect our code. Okay, we're going to comment them out like this. Okay, so the for loop, we're going to just say for. Okay, this the for is a loop. Okay, so let's say let's say I is equal to 0. All right, then we can say, or if I is less than let's just say 5, then we increment I, that is to say using the I plus plus. Okay, so then we can maybe console log something to the screen. We can just console log iteration and let's just put it inside the double quotes since is what we want to output to the screen. Iteration like this. Okay, we'll put some space in there and we'll concatenate the iteration value. So we say I plus 1. All right. So that is all we want to do. So let's try to run this and see how the output will be like. Okay, so um, the name of the file itself, let's say we use directory to check a command. We'll check our directory. So we have, I think we have a JS folder, image folder, and CSS folder. So let's cd into the JS folder and let's say directory again. So we have the index file here. So we can just say uh, node index.js like that, right? So we hit enter and you can see we have the iteration because in this place we say since I is 0, I shouldn't be less than like if until I is less than 5, this is what you do. Okay, we start it from 0 and we check that from 0 to 5 we should be iterating it, we should be adding 1 plus this 0. We should be adding 1 plus this 0. That is why we use the I plus plus. Okay, so we also did the output, the same thing that we occur here, we also did it here. Okay, so basically we say the I because I is already set to 0. Okay, that is why we assigned 0 to I because we now I is only the value of 0. So then we check that until I is less than 5, we should be adding 1 to that 0. So we add 1, the next add 1, 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 1, 5. So when we get to this 5, we break, like we stop the iteration, okay? That is what this thing does. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about the for loop, sorry, the while loop. So we can just comment this guy out and go down a bit and say while loop. All right, so this is what we're going to talk about now. So we would like to use the let command also. We can just assign a value called, let's say, counter, a variable counter, and we assign a value to it 0. Okay. So now we're going to use our while loop to check something. We say if when counter is until like counter is less than 3. Okay. Okay. So we're going to do something. We're just going to put something to the screen. Okay. We can just say console log. Okay, because counter currently it is 0, right? So we're gonna be getting something like a negative value here because we have a positive or 0 here, and we are checking that until it is less than 3, we should do something. Okay, so let's count. We can just count like this, right? And we'll concatenate the counter variable that we have added in our code. Okay, so set it like this, and we can here now come here and iterate the counter. Okay, so we can just say counter plus plus. So by so doing, it will be iterating all of the counts. Okay, so let's try to uh, run this in our code and see what will happen. We can see it is starting here. Okay, so and what you see here now that is until it gets to 3, we should always count. Okay, we should always increment it, and till it gets to 3, we just break. Okay, so you can actually want to do something. You can maybe want to increase it to 5. You can still go ahead and run it, and you see it won't. It's not like the for loop that when it gets to that 5, it should always print that 5. Okay, but the while loop itself, it doesn't reach, like when it gets to this particular number, it won't output this number. Okay, it will just break when it gets to, when the next number would be this, it will just break. All right, that is, your program will just terminate. All right, so that being said, we're gonna try the next one, which is looping through arrays. Okay, we're gonna be looping through arrays, so which is the third topic for today. So yeah, sorry for the noise. Like you already know, my office is very close to the roadside, so my apologies for that. So let's just comment these guys out, and let's go down a bit. Okay, so yeah, we're going to be looking through arrays. Okay, looking through arrays, just like that. Okay, so let's create some fruit variable. Okay, let's create some fruit variables and let's assign a list to it. Like I told you, a list is always in this square bracket. Okay, and you can have multiple list, multiple values in like inside of it. Like yeah. So and like I told you that each of all these items that are inside the arrays, they are all indexed. Okay, starting from 0. So that is just like a recap of what we talked about regarding the arrays itself. So we have this apple, and we would have some other items inside. We have something like another one. Maybe let's call this one banana, and let's call the last one, and let's call this one orange. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to use the for loop to iterate over all these items that are inside of the fruit variable. Okay. So let's say for, we use the parentheses. Okay, and let's say I is equal to, let's say 0. Okay, then if I is less than fruit, okay, dot, let's say length. Okay, so then let's do one thing, let's iterate I. Okay, so by iterating I, we would like to console log something to the screen. Okay, so we can just say fruit. Okay, then we just put the concatenate the fruit variable here like this, right? Okay, so and we'll specify the I, uh, yeah, the I that we have assigned there. This is the I variable that we assigned the 0 to, right? And we'll check that if I is less than the fruit's length. Okay, this length is a keyword in JavaScript, so it is not recommended you use it as your variable name because you might have some conflict in your code. All right. So this is what we're checking. Okay. So let's try to run the code and see what the output would be like. Okay. So you can see what we got here is that we were trying to iterate over all these guys that are here, right? So initially we said the I, we set it to 0, and we say if I is less than the length of the fruit. Okay, so we should be iterate, like we should be getting all the items that are inside there. Okay, like I told you that the first index of this array starts with 0, right? So this is it would be checking through all of the items within the fruit variable. Okay, the arrays items within this fruit variable. Okay, so that is why we got all the content that you're seeing right there. Okay, so with that being said, we will just talk. Okay, let's just end this tutorial here, and in the next chapter, we're going to talk about the rest three of these guys, which is the functions, returning functions, and object methods. Okay, so I hope to see you guys in the next video, and for now, bye bye and take care. Okay, yeah.